So it's going to be the same sort of USADA that Floyd's done for many of his recent fights.
Yes.
Okay. And one other thing, I don't think this is an issue, but this is something I've been asked by other people, so I'm going to throw it out there. Is there any kind of language in this agreement that what might happen should Conor have a brain freeze and just start throwing elbows and kicks?
Oh yeah, that will not happen.
What's the penalty?
That will not happen. I mean, first of all, obviously, that is absolutely in the contract. Number one, and number two, if this is a boxing match under the Nevada State Athletic Commission, under the rules of boxing, and I mean, when you talk about a guy of Floyd Mayweather's level and value in the sport and things like that, I mean, the lawsuit, if that ever happened, would, Conor likes money, man, and Conor would depart with a lot of money if that ever happened. So, yeah, that will not happen.
Gotcha. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dana, how you doing? I wanted to ask you if you can elaborate on the point of putting Conor in this fight against Floyd. If he loses, a lot of people think he's going to lose convincingly. Does it or does it not damage the UFC brand?
No, absolutely not. At the end of the day, these two guys wanted this fight. The fans wanted this fight. And, Conor is a mixed martial artist. He's going into a boxing match with arguably the greatest boxer of all time. I don't think it damages the brand or Conor McGregor at all. I think it actually elevates Conor McGregor. The fact that this kid who has so much to lose is willing to step in and is absolutely confident that he will win this fight. I think it's one of the many reasons that people love Conor McGregor. And, win, lose, or draw, it'll be one of the reasons that people continue to love Conor McGregor.
Yeah, Dana, I know you're a tremendous boxing fan. You followed the sport for years. When you look at Conor's work standing up against Jose Aldo, Nate Diaz in the rematch, and Eddie Alvarez, what does that mean toward a fight against Floyd Mayweather? Right.
I mean, listen, is he, at the level of a Floyd Mayweather as far as boxing standards go? No. But the kid, first of all, is a southpaw. And people can, argue one way or another. Floyd, traditionally, if you want to say there's ever been a kink in the armor with that kid, it's with southpaws. And Conor McGregor is an absolute knockout artist. When he hits you, you go. So it's part of the fun of this fight. Is Conor McGregor in a 12-round fight going to be able to touch Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know a lot of other guys want to talk.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Congratulations on getting the fight done. I will throw this out for all three of you to answer, but I know the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight grossed $600+ million. Do you think that this fight has a chance to hit $500 million in one night?
And I think this fight is bigger globally than the Mayweather-Pacquiao was.
Okay. And Dana, let me ask you this, if I could just follow up on that a little bit. After the after the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, you were among the many people who were critical of the event, that, they priced the tickets too high. The average fan was priced out. So can you talk a little bit about what you guys are going to do on this to make sure that the average fan can afford to see the fight and, get into the arena if they want to do that type of thing?
I never said that. I never said that they priced the average fan out. What I said is they couldn't have fucked this thing up worse with how late they got tickets out. I was actually a guy who bought tickets. I couldn't even get my tickets the week of the fight. And, it became this thing where it was almost so impossible to get tickets after you had already paid for them that people started canceling their rooms and all kinds of things. The beautiful thing about the disaster that was that fight is I think everybody learned from it, and it won't happen again. I think that the fight was so big and everybody was so crazy and rabid about it that a lot of mistakes were made that cost them money, which is hilarious to say because it's the biggest money-making fight of all time. So, as bad as I think it got screwed up in some areas, they still did okay on it. So. I think that we gain from the mistakes that were made and the knowledge that they have now of what went wrong with that fight.
Hello, thank you everybody for taking this call. I had a couple of questions. Whoever can answer that would be, I'd appreciate it. I just had a couple of basic questions on the overall event. First off, how much is the pay-per-view going to cost? Have you set that price yet?
We haven't yet. The deal got done. The deal is done, and now all the business will be handled now. But we haven't really got there yet.
You know that the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight, Dana, was like $100. Are you thinking in that realm?
Yeah.
That was a real big pushback, even though it did a big number. You think it at that price or lower?
When you talk about super fights, this is a super fight. Two different guys from two different sports. Going in and putting it on the line, and obviously, you can't charge what you would normally charge for a pay-per-view. I get it. And saying that there was pushback on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, there was anything but. It's the biggest fight ever in the history of pay-per-view. And as much of a clusterfuck as I said the ticket situation was, people were rabid for tickets. I bought 10 tickets to that fight. That's the worst thing about it.
Dana, will you do things to promote this fight on your UFC programming? That's obviously not boxing, but you're going to have, TV shows and such between now and August 26th. Will you do promotion of it on your programming?
Yeah, Showtime is the exclusive distributor of Floyd Mayweather's fights, but they were kind enough to open the gate and let us do some stuff too. We're going to do UFC embedded like we do for our fights and a couple of other things. But at the end of the day, Showtime is running the show.
So I won't see a promo on like your next UFC live show on FS1 or something.
What's that?
Would I see something like? Would you mention it or have a promo for it on your one of the state you have a live event?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna promote it through all of my through all of my inventory and everything that I'm doing. But as far as actually producing TV shows and doing all that type of stuff, Showtime is the exclusive. But they've been kind and opened the window and let us have some fun and do some things too.
Can you also answer? This is something I know has always been important to Floyd. If you could just address what the drug testing situation is for this fight, whoever has that, maybe Leonard knows.
Yeah, USADA. So much respect for Floyd Mayweather, because let me tell you, in the negotiations when we were talking about it, I said Conor is right now in the USADA program and is being drug tested right now. As soon as the deal's done, they absolutely didn't even flinch about drug testing. So much respect to Floyd on that.
Hey, guys, thanks for the call. Dana, I know you talked to Conor this morning. You said in a couple other interviews. What is his attitude about his future with the UFC? How confident are you that he will fight again this year?
I'm pretty confident in the conversation that I had with him. He's fired up for this fight, and he's excited to fight again and defend his title by the end of the year. Nothing is a guarantee. You can't be guaranteed anybody's ever going to fight again. So, but if you look at Conor and the type of fight, the reason that this fight is so big and the reason that he's such a huge superstar is because this guy will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. He's going to step in and fight Floyd Mayweather under boxing rules. These are the reasons that people love this kid. I got all these guys crying about, Conor McGregor this, Conor McGregor that. Shut up. Step up and fight like Conor McGregor fights. Take the big fights. When somebody falls out, on 4 or 5 days, he'll fight anybody. That's why people love him. If I had to tell you right here, right now, do I think Conor's coming back this year? I absolutely do.
Dana, would you like to see some UFC announcer representation on the call?
I don't know. We haven't really got into that yet. Like Steven said, we're going to talk about it and we'll figure it out. I don't have a problem. Listen, at the end of the day, Showtime put up a lot of money, to get Floyd Mayweather over there and to promote his fights and whatever they want to do. They've been very, very, very fair in this negotiation and letting us do things that they absolutely did not have to let us do. So I'm cool with anything.
Dana, you're looking forward to doing, from what I'm reading from Steven there, an afternoon UFC card the same day as the event. Is that what you're thinking?
I didn't go that far. I just said,
he didn't say that. He didn't say that. No. There will be no UFC that day. This is a boxing day.
Okay, great. Dana, to what degree would you expect Conor to kind of frame this up in the interviews ahead of time as, MMA being a superior fighting sport to boxing, kind of framing it as MMA are real fighters and boxers are just boxers? Do you expect him to put it that way?
Well, the reality is MMA is MMA and boxing is boxing, and he's stepping into the boxing arena. It doesn't matter if they fought out in the street, what would happen. He has agreed to come in and box Floyd Mayweather, so it is what it is.
I don't want to get too sidetracked on this, but I think the best analogy to use here is it's NASCAR and Formula One.